show. 1010, Inlet Lance, Twin Co Remodeling Specialists, and, really excited to have you on the show and get to know you more. It's a great day to be outside working.
Yeah.
Until about 1.
I was going to say, it just depends on which day we're talking.
Take me through, man. Before we go into the nuts and bolts of the work that you guys do, there's a ton to cover and a lot of really important things, especially because we're in the middle of storm seasons, getting ready to really hit, and in come the door knockers and all the folks that, really don't know what they're doing. So to have people that, are really experts on it's great. How did you get started?
Well, I personally got started in custom woodwork, building cabinetry in the commercial industry. And then it just, around the 08 mark, when things started to crash, I had to kind of segue into remodeling to survive. And then just have never looked back.
Well, and now, as you're going in, as you started to develop, what did you notice along the way that was, a little bit different from the remodeling side of things to what you knew?
Well, huge differences. I mean, in my mind, I just felt like people didn't pay attention to details, and that there was a chance to one-up everybody.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
And so there was the idea was that I would approach the remodeling carpentry trade with a craftsman's approach, but there's not a huge market for that, unfortunately. But that is the biggest thing. I just thought that it was easy to shine. That's kind of how I looked at it.
Well, and I think it's so important too. Whenever we're looking at the work you do, I mean, being a GC really helps, so much because, you're the point of contact and truly help alleviate all the stresses that could be on a homeowner or anyone that's leading a project.
Yeah, and that's something that you learn along the way, because usually when you start in this trade, you become either an employee or a subcontractor. And then so there's different tiers and different levels of learning and where you think you want to go. But when you learn how to be a general contractor, there's also different levels of that. And I don't claim to be a general contractor for new construction, but it's still necessary within remodel projects to be a general contractor. And once the customer latches onto you and trusts you, they need that. Like you're saying, they don't want to deal with a bunch of different people, and they want somebody to sort of, in a way, protect them.
Well, and because it's a whole different ball game when it comes to organizing, especially working with different companies and working with the different employees of companies. Just the language barrier, meaning definitions of what the job is. And timelines and expectations. Hell, as a homeowner, dude, I'm not even close to knowing what any of that means. So I'll leave it to you.
It's huge. That just kind of brings us into talking about the team that you surround yourself with, the vendors, the Fisher Lumbers or the Pro Sources, these people that you surround yourself with. It's basically expanding your team, being a small business and not pretending to be a large business, and staying in our lane. We use the team around us, so you send somebody out to speak to a vendor, and that team is going to represent you.
That's a really good, I think, point. And I know we don't have an hour or two to go, really dissect that. But I think, for a lot of people that are maybe younger and maybe it's, having their own, thing out there and not being an employee or a subcontractor, it's, staying in your lane and not, overshooting yourself, and then all of a sudden you have no liquidity by the time the projects are done, and you can't even fund them. And I think that's really important, just how you hit on that and why you're seems like so successful with what you're doing here.
Yeah, it's the trial and error that gets you there, though. Yeah. So you overstep to what you were saying. You do overstep, and then you find out that there's kickback on that, and it makes sense. You dial it in over the years. I mean, if you're not learning from your mistakes, you're probably not learning much, So if you overstep, you dial back, you figure out what your lane is, and you try to stay there. And then when people trust you so much that they want to draw you out of your lane, you just have to have good referrals.
Well, what have you seen too over the last couple of years? Because doing this for the time that you've got to experience a lot of evolution when it comes to how referrals are even made anymore. What that interaction looks like. What has been the biggest surprise to you over the last hell, since you started after the, refresh after the financial crisis, what'd you see? What's the biggest shock?
Yeah, I mean, as far as referrals or
just in business, because I find that fascinating because you've hit every kind of wave of, social media and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I rode the wave.
Yeah.
You do. You ride the wave. You back up. You get humbled, after a recession like that. And then you sort of, you try to feel your way because what felt solid wasn't solid anymore. So then you're kind of picking your way through and solid in the way of, even factory workers, like they lost jobs. Everyone had to reset and rethink. So then I guess I don't even know if I'd say it was a surprise, but as I was getting into it, I was hoping that longevity and outlasting people would be what separated me from them. And I don't know if I say it was a surprise because I thought that it would happen, but all the guys that sort of had the truck that appeared when all the factories shut down and all the layoffs happened, they're gone for the most part. Yeah. So the competition is different. I guess that'd be the biggest difference. I don't know if I can say it's a big surprise, but it was definitely interesting to see that when the smoke cleared, that it was the guys like me, and and there's been more. I've tried more than once. That's why I said trial and error is where it's at.
Well, as we go into that now, I mean, at the core of what you guys do, I mean, the remodeling aspect is still a pretty interesting web. And let's talk about, really what are your main areas of focus when someone calls or when you would like someone to call for?
Well, if I give them the nutshell version of it, it's kitchens, baths, decks, windows, and doors. But that covers a pretty big spectrum, so you can hear that most of it's not on the exterior, just decks for the most part. Your windows and doors can qualify as exterior, but we're not a roofing crew. We're not a concrete crew.
Yeah.
And so that's the part of going back to staying in your lane. As a general contractor, you can go out and find people to do that for you. You can sub them out.
Sure.
You can sell the jobs. But I think staying in your lane is a very loaded statement, because not only are you staying in your lane for yourself, but you're going to make better networking with other companies in the area if you stay in your lane and you're not sort of encroaching into their trade, if you know what I mean.
One, really, it seems like it goes back to that old school way of doing business, especially with the trades, is if you treat people right and you're honest, you guys have a lot better success rate, it seems like. And it seems like that's what you have with your vendors or anyone you utilize for those type of services.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
So, let me ask you, because whenever we talk about bathrooms, kitchens, decks, and doors, and those are one of those things where, I mean, we all have that one guy that in our lives that give him a 12-pack and he'll get started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it also leads to a lot of issues. And being an Alton, I'm sure that you've seen quite a bit of everything you can see when you're going in to fix stuff. Why is it important really to, not shortcut these things? Because, take me through what you've been able to kind of fix and see and repair over the course of work here.
Well, first of all, no one's perfect. So we'll start out.
That's a great.
We'll be trying to not claim that we're perfect. So we're not trying to claim that we're the fix-all. We've never made a mistake. But we do pay attention and we do try to take the correct path. And I have, for instances, that are just within this week of what you're saying.
No kidding. Seriously?
Contractor that walked or agreed to walk, and then we go and look at the job, and it's clear that they don't know what they're doing. It's super clear. Mm-hmm. The customer might have been a little baffled, but they also knew something was wrong, and that's why the situation changed. But in that conversation, and I'll keep this quick, she just mentioned that she wanted to get a price comparison, this ballpark thing that no one really likes to do. That's an HGTV thing. But I gave her a ballpark on a bathroom remodel, and then she gave me the number that the previous guy gave her, and I said, well, that explains it all. Yeah. He doesn't even know what to bid to cover the job. And so you see that so much, and the way I explain it to her is that if you have a sub that like knows how to do work, but he's not a good businessman. That's wrapping it up sort of into a nutshell as far as that's why that kind of goes that way. So then you take a general contractor that's been there, done that, and he takes those guys and he keeps them under control, controls quality, represents that guy has to represent you, so you have to watch them very close. And then you sort of pull them into your world, and then those are the people you use.
Yeah.
But when they go out on their own, they cause the problems that we have to go back and fix.
Yeah.
And then the issue there is the customer might already be out more money than they might not even have the money to finish the project at that point.
Well, I'm sure.
So yeah, it's a vicious world. The thing is, we always just wish that somehow they would have contacted us or someone like us first,
Well, and see, that's where I think it's so important because, now everyone looks at price tags and they go, God dang, man, that's a lot.
It's brutal.
But, I mean, you're going to pay that regardless wherever you look from a reputable company.
Yes.
And I get so bent out of shape because every time a storm comes in, you get these guys that knock on your door and they short sell you or whatever they do. They make you sign a contract for roofing or whatever you do. And
high pressure on the spot.
Then sometimes they take off their, there's all these horror stories.
Yes, there is.
And that's why I'm glad that we're having you on because there's, opportunities out there to really shop local here. And when you shop local, especially with trades, you can't go, it's to me so much more of that peace of mind going into something.
And I think so too. And I mean, part of the reason to shop here for us contractors local is, I mean, if you do go to St. Louis or beyond Edwardsville, Fairview Heights, Shiloh, you're going to pay a different price tier. I mean, they're climbing up. The more populated areas they get more money for what they're doing. But yeah, it's keeping it local. And I think that the more you build your referral team and your networking, the more that you can help customers avoid that sticky situation with the wrong contractor. Yeah. And you could become a little bit liable on referrals, but it's still worth doing if you got the right team. Does that make sense?
Oh, for sure.
Because you think, man, I could have set you up with a roofer that didn't door knock, which is super common, and that's sort of a whole nother realm. That's a insurance versus roofer thing is what that is. But yeah.
Well, why don't we do this? I'm going to take a quick break. I got to pay a bill, and we're going to come back and chat it up with Lance some more, learn more about the services you provide, when we can get on your books, all that good stuff. 1023, a little bit of change, daily show. On a Thursday, back to you next.
If you think you might be pregnant, you don't have to face it alone. At Vitality Women's Clinic, you'll find the care you deserve. We offer confidential, no-cost pregnancy testing, ultrasounds, and STI testing. Our team is here to listen, support you, and help you understand your options without pressure or judgment. Walk in or make an appointment today. Call 618-466-1690 or visit vitalitywomensclinic.org. Vitality Women's Clinic, clear answers, real support.
Accidents happen in a heartbeat, but lives change forever. Whether it's a car crash, workplace injury, medical malpractice, or wrongful death, you don't have to face the consequences alone. Keith Short and Associates brings over 33 years of experience and a reputation for fighting fiercely for your rights. For relentless representation that you can trust, call Keith Short and Associates at 618-254-0055 today for a free consultation.
Firearms training shouldn't feel intimidating. At Precision Point Armory in Bethalto, we focus on safety, confidence, and real-world skills. Whether you're new or renewing your concealed carry, you'll get professional instruction without pressure. Learn safe handling, sound decision-making, and proper techniques tailored to your experience level. If you're looking for premium firearms training in the heart of Bethalto, Illinois, call 618-779-9947 or go to precisionpointarmory.net and train with confidence today.
Struggling with depression that just won't go away? At Precision TMS, we offer a non-invasive, drug-free treatment designed to target the areas of the brain linked to mood regulation. Using FDA-cleared transcranial magnetic stimulation, gentle magnetic pulses help reactivate underperforming brain circuits. Without surgery or sedation, many patients experience real relief, even after other treatments haven't worked. Our experienced team provides personalized care every step of the way. Contact Precision TMS today. to see if TMS therapy is right for you.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Lennox system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
What's up, it's Mike Keith. What's up, bro? Back to spotlight other amazing alumni and how they discovered their path at Lewis and Clark. Let's jump into it. This is Tom Wells,
an assistant chief of the Godfrey Fire District. He has been a firefighter and an EMT for over 20 years. Tom is currently an instructor in the Lewis and Clark Paramedicine program and has 2 degrees from LC, fire science and nursing.
I'm Tom Wills and I'm a trailblazer.
Oh no, another bad headache?
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to see your doctor.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including diagnosing health issues or referring you to a specialist. Schedule an appointment today.
For another day. Welcome back, 1028, a little bit of change. Daily show, back with Lance, Twin Co Remodeling Specialists. So, let's kind of go back before we go forward. You kind of came to know Twin Co as a subcontractor, correct?
Oh, yeah. On and off for 15 years, working for Gene Hand. Pretty much gave me the template that we're working from now on how we run the company. And to be honest, I thought that it was going to be quite a bit to figure out, but really he had it set up so well that you just really didn't have to do a whole lot. And the calls just come in organically because of the reputation.
Well, and there's I think another way to look at that too, because how many times do we see someone walk into a no-brainer to, and it seems, when you're treating people right, business is good, you got a good functionality there. I've seen it time and time again. Someone comes in and has to change the world, Yeah. And it's really good to acknowledge that.
Or they crash something good.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. And so, I think it's really important that to keep that going instead of just going, well, it's this new era. Whatever's broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, and I thought it was really going to be tough. Gene was a salesman by trade. Mm-hmm. That's what he went to school for. Very, very sales oriented, very, very good with spiels and pitches, and that's not my thing. I'm off the cuff and organic. So I thought it was going to be tough, but it really just turns out just sticking to the basics, man. Just calling customers back, answering the phone, communicating very well. It's unbelievable how much that makes a difference. Yeah. And I can tell, you're the type that you've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and you can appreciate where I'm kind of heading with this. It's real easy to shine. It's not hard. All you have to do is just be consistent. I think the deal is we're just trying to be service oriented. That's what we're trying to do. Now it's tough because I'm a one-man show as far as the office and the estimates and all that, and then I got my crews. So it's a lot to keep up with. But I the thing I preach constantly is a phone call goes a long way. Right. And so you wouldn't believe how many people which I know you can believe it, and it's probably on the tip of your tongue, that just tell me that I just can't even get a call back. I can't get a call back. And it's like, well, that makes it kind of easy for us, so that it has not been nearly as complicated, obviously picking up and getting used to QuickBooks again and doing all that kind of stuff. That was the tough part, but Gene laid out a amazing template. Everyone that is a repeat customer just rant and raves about the company and how he built it. So it's been very, very good in that way.
When did you officially take ownership?
2.5 years ago in July.
Wow. So, and I think that's, you hit on something really important. I mean, when you're doing all this and, work aside, everyone knows that you guys are busy on the job. But whenever you're back home, at 10 o'clock at night, or you're getting home late and then you still have, like you said, QuickBooks, or you're looking through estimates and going through product stuff, it gets overwhelming. And, like you said, the phone call goes a long way, but just the old school way of business. It's so weird to say old school way of business, because in the world of fill out my form online and then we'll send you whatever. Yeah. It's cool, man. And I think it's a big testament to really how our area still operates.
Yeah. That the Gene, obviously super old school approach. And so the company, I guess, it says on all my logos, established 1981, which is just crazy, That's just a really long time to have been in business. And like I said, he did such a good job with it. But I forgot where we were heading with it.
Well, let's go into that. So what's your service area?
So, ideally, we'd stay right here in Alton and Godfrey. Just so that it's simple and quick and easy, but it spreads out to the Bethalto area. If we get a call, Holiday Shores, Edwardsville, we don't take on a ton of stuff out past Edwardsville, but we definitely take on whatever comes our way. It seems like Granite City's kind of growing for us. We're getting more calls from there. We have a company that we work with called A La Carte. Okay. They're out of Edwardsville and Glen Carbon area. And they're a supplier for cabinetry and stuff. So we get referrals out that way now. So, and we dabble in Jerseyville, Grafton, so.
Well, it's good to know, just in case someone's really, because, right now, you couldn't ask for a better time to go look outside and see what you need done.
Yeah.
Did you guys do egress windows that somebody put a damn air conditioning line through?
No. As a matter of fact, egress windows are so tough that we kind of quit messing with them, but that's unfortunate. Did that happen to you? I feel like some of your angle here has been firsthand on things that you've talked about.
Would it surprise you that I bought my house from a code enforcer?
Oh, that's insane. You know what's funny about that, CJ? Is there that's like a whole nother world of Yeah, you know where I'm headed with this.
Yep. That's why I just had to throw that out there. I'm just kind of taking angles and seeing if I can use it.
In 2008 or 9 or whatever it was, there was a lot of inspectors that got in some serious trouble.
Really?
And that's right along.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, and see, it
had to do with real estate, but it was similar.
Well, there's so many people I know that, they have these weird components of their house, and it's like, man, how do we get this? And it's always the little, in your mind, you're like, that can't be too bad, until you go and peel back the curtain and see what's behind it,
Well, yeah, and you can keep trying to lipstick and cover stuff, but there's this start with crap, end with crap sort of
mentality.
Yeah, that you got to realize is there, and that's sort of sometimes with the customers. That's the conversation: is how far do we want to back up here so that we're doing it as proper as we can, which means equates to dollars. So it's a tough balance.
Oh, for sure. So right now, if somebody's interested, they got something. Maybe they need their deck done. They need their kitchen, bathroom, windows, doors. No egress windows, but doors and windows. What's the best way to get on the books? You guys come out, give them a look. What's that process look like?
Yeah, so we have the public phone numbers in the email. We have the website, the Facebook. Whenever somebody does give us a call, I do the follow up. Try to get them on the calendar that week if possible. If not, the next week. Come out, take a look at everything. Usually have to educate them on what their options are, and then within a week or two, we get them an estimate. and then usually try to go from there, get them into a contract if they're looking for. There's no high pressure sales or anything like that. It's just whatever they're comfortable with, and then we get them on the books, and the books is as far as the scheduling, it's tricky, but we don't get pushed out real far. We're using 3 consistent crews and a handyman. We do have a handyman division.
I like that component of what you guys do.
It helps. It doesn't help us as much as it does customers. I can proudly say that's true. It's nice because there's so many people out there, and we're all thinking of the little old lady that can't get something done. But there's all different scenarios where people just can't get something small done.
Oh, dude, I can tell you so many times I would call just for that.
It's a great thing.
By the time you go and rent the damn equipment, even if you know what you're doing, by the time you go rent it, if you don't have it and find all the... just go ahead and call,
Yeah, and there's people that were already in the trade in their day that just aren't physical anymore. Yeah. And so then when a guy shows up that's real, and the jack of all trades guy that we have, and he gets the job done for him quick. Good. Yeah, it's great. And then that works for us. I don't push the advertising because we, it's a part-time thing. He just keeps up. We don't want to overload on that yet. So, but yeah. It's nice to be able to help customers. We literally get little old ladies that just are so happy. It sounds like they're going to bust into tears that they know somebody they can call that can help them out, and it not be a big drawn out thing with a huge price tag. So
really cool.
Yeah.
Lance, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
We'll take a quick break. We're going to come back and wrap up the show with Sydney after this.
If you